Shalawama, I'm Dr. Yasapa. I'm happy to be back on Dr. Yasapa TV. So today I'm going to discuss a very interesting topic. Not so much discuss, but I'm going to get into Gematria. And this is a topic I don't know anything about, but we can learn from the Jewish Encyclopedia about Gematria. Okay, now why is this important? Why should you be interested in this? Because there are a lot of people teaching that every pictograph, every Hebrew pictograph, right, regardless of the script, be it modern, ancient, paleo, whatever, they're saying that, well, they're following the custom, the tradition of Gematria, right? And it's, let me just read through this, okay? Because I really don't even know how to put this in words. But it's linked to astrology, and you'll see that as we go through this. But there are a lot of people in the Hebrew Israelite community who are into this, right? They may not know exactly what they're doing, but they do go along with this notion that every pictograph has a number and that words have a numerical value, and it's in scripture. So let's go through this so we can see exactly what this is. Okay, so we're in the JewishEncyclopedia.com. This is an article by Solomon Skocher, I don't know how to pronounce that, and Casper Levius. Okay, so let's start reading, okay? It says a cryptograph which gives, let me move my ruler here, hold on. Okay, so a cryptograph which gives, instead of the intended word, its numerical value, or a cipher produced by the permutation of letters. So what is permutation, right? That's the first thing we need to go and check, right? Before we read further, let's look up permutation. Now, this is probably not what most of you all think it means. This is why it's important to always look up words, okay? Permutation, noun, a way, especially one of several possible variations. Okay, so this is several ways in which a set of numbers, in which a set or number of things can be ordered or arranged, okay? Now, let's see if we can find a better definition in the Cambridge Dictionary. All right. So here we are in the Cambridge Dictionary. Let's go down until we get to it. Not that one, this one. Okay, permutation. Any of the various arrangements in which a set of objects can be organized. Okay, so these objects would be what? Pictographs and words according to numeric values, okay? So permutation, the number of permutations, so this is an example. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back to the article. All right, so a cytograph which gives, instead of the intended word, its numerical value, or a cipher produced by the permutation of letters. The term first occurs in literature in the 29th of the 32 hermeneutic rules. Okay, so now let's look this up. So, all right, go to the hermetic rules. All right, so there are the 8 rules of biblical interpretation. All right, so let's go to this, click on that. All right, okay. So hermeneutics is a way to interpret the Bible, right? All right, so let's see if we can get a list. Okay, so here are the 8 rules. The rule of definition, what does the word mean? The rule of usage, it must be remembered that Old Testament was written originally by, to, or for Jews. We know this is not accurate, right? That is not correct, because Jews did not exist until what? When did if you watch my other videos, you'll know when the Jews came into existence. Go back and watch the other videos that I did if you want to know the answer to that. Okay, so the rule of context, 4, the rule of historical background, the rule of logic, the rule of precedent, the rule of unity, the rule of inference. All right, so you can go back to this if you want to and read through every one. So let's go back to our article. Term first occurs in literature in the 29th of the 32 hermeneutic rules of who is this guy? R. Eliezer, B.R. Jose, the Galilean. So when around what? Circa 200, right? So this is around 200 CE, okay? So this came into existence around 200 CE. This is when it first came into literature, all right? Keep that in mind. So this is way, way, way after the establishment of our nation began, right? Okay. So let's continue. In some texts, the rule for permutative Gematria is counted as a separate regulation. The 13th, I have no idea how to pronounce these words, so I'm just going to skip it. Wahlberg, who gave a list of 147 cases of Gematria occurring in the traditional literature, includes in this number cases of symbolical numbers. Okay, so now we're dealing with symbolical numbers, numbers that have meanings, right? They symbolize something, which properly belong to the 27th rule. Okay, which properly belong to the 27th rule. The reader is referred to the subject of permutative Gematria and symbolical numbers in the articles anagram and numbers and numerals. Okay, so y'all go back and read this, okay? The present article is limited to a discussion of Gematria and the latter meaning of the term. Okay, so this is interesting, right? Does anyone remember the former and the latter? So the former is the first. How do you remember that? Only think of one. Easiest one would be former. Why? Because F, former, first, same sound, right? You don't have to worry about the latter. Just remember former is first. Forget about everything else. The other one is the other one. Former is first, okay? So let's do it again because I lost my spot. The reader is referred for the subject of permutative Gematria and symbolical numbers to the articles on anagram and numbers and numerals. So this would be the first one. So that's the former. Number and numerals would be the latter, right? The present article is limited to a discussion of the Gematria and the latter meaning of the term. Oops. So not the former, the latter. So the latter would be numbers and numerals, right? Numerical Gematria, and treats therefore only of the numerical values of words. Okay, so this article is about what? The numeric value of words. And this is what a lot of Hebrew Israelites are teaching. Okay, they're teaching this. So let's check it out and see its origin. So terms. In its form, Gematria is a simple arithmetical equation. Okay, I can't see what this is, y'all. But this these are modern Hebrew script. It's too small for me to see. But let me try to blow this up. Hold on. Okay. So it's this modern Hebrew script here. Okay, so it's saying that this word has a numerical value of 138, and this word has a numerical value of 138. But what can we notice? In this case, there are 3 pictographs, and in this case, there are 4 pictographs, okay? But they yet they equal 138. The computation of the numerical value of a word with the inference drawn therefrom is called, whatever all of this is. Okay, hold on. The plural is, okay, this is not very helpful. So let's go down. Okay. The etymology of the word is doubtful. Okay. Some identify it, this is talking about the etymology of Gematria. Some identify it with the Greek, whatever that is, in the sense of, okay, so y'all can see this is written for common people not to understand, right? I hope everybody sees that. Okay, this is written for common people to not understand so that you'll need somebody to teach you. And of course, that's going to cost you some money, right? That's if you got the complexion for the connection, right? Okay, but for us, it's not for us. That's why it's hidden like this. Okay, others consider it to be a transposition of a supposed, and then they have this modern Hebrew, this word in the modern Hebrew script, and then the Greek, and a derivative of, okay, so let's skip down below all of that. All right, so this is what we're really interested in, right? The biblical literature, that's what we're really interested in. In the Bible itself, there is no reference to numerical gematria. So why are Hebrew Israelites teaching this? Okay. In the Bible itself, there is no reference to numerical gematria. So this would be what? Hebrew or the Old and the New Testament. There is no reference to numerical gematria. Or the symbolical use, here we are here, or the symbolical use of numbers and their existence, notice this, and their existence cannot be positively demonstrated. Okay, their existence cannot be positively demonstrated. Let me read it again, starting from the top. In the Bible itself, there is no reference to numerical gematria or the symbolical use of numbers, and their existence cannot be positively demonstrated. So again, I ask you, is this something you should learn and practice? Is this something that you should believe in? Okay, you answer that question for yourself. Nonetheless, considering that examples of permutative gematria are found in biblical literature, okay, so this is what they're alleging, Jeremiah 25:26. Okay, so let's start here. There is great, so you notice they gave one example. I don't know what this is. This might be something, I don't know, I don't know what this source is, but they give one example from Jeremiah 25th chapter. All right. There is a great probability. So you notice they're saying that there is a great probability based upon Jeremiah 1 verse. Okay. There is a great probability that at least some of the claims made by later writers to having found also numerical gematriot are justified. They're basing that on one scripture. Okay. Okay, and notice that it says that this is what? Notice that they're saying that there is no reference to numerical gematria or the symbolic use of numbers, and their existence cannot be positively demonstrated. So they throw out this one example here, and then they seem to apparently contradict themselves. Why? Because it says there is great probability. Okay, great probability that at least some of the claims made by later writers, right? Later writers, remember we saw what, 200 CE, right? 200 CE is when it came into existence. Okay, that's this later writers. All right, so let's continue to the next sentence. The following three may be considered as very probable. So now you're looking at three probable occurrences out of the whole Bible, out of the whole Bible, and they're saying that it's great probability. So here's where we have to think, right? Not just listen to what, or not just accept what this author says, but we have to use our own mind and say, well, is this in fact so? Is 3 or 4 citations, or actually is 3 or 4 probable sources enough to say great probability? I think not. Okay, you make your own decision. Out of the whole Bible, they're showing 3 or 4 possible or probable. Okay. The following 3 may be considered very probable. So one in Genesis, another one in Deuteronomy. Okay, so, oh, and then another one in, what is this? That's not in the Bible. Okay. So let's look at these examples. The following 3 may be considered as very probable. In Genesis, okay, it says where the number 318 is the equivalent of Eleazar, right? The only name known to tradition from among those of Abraham's servants. That this doesn't mean that to me. I mean, it could mean anything you want it to mean. Okay, so in Deuteronomy, the initial letters of the verses giving the number 35, the value of the name of Moses. That doesn't mean anything, in my opinion. In fact, they could have set this up, right? They could have set this up so that it would mean those things, so that they can then go back and make this claim. And the abnormal form of the first letter of verse 6, calling the reader's attention to the cryptographic acrostic. All right, so let's skip that. All right, to me, this is a bunch of nonsense in terms of logic. For me, I'd have to be very naive to accept this, because as I said, they could have set these numbers up to mean this so that they can go back and say, hey, look at what it says, right? Okay, because remember, this is coming from what? Later writers around 200 CE. All right, so let's see. Do we need to read in traditional literature? Well, now actually, if they're practicing this, hold on. Okay, so here we are, number 2. The following forms of gematria occur. 1, a number in the text points to a person or object. Okay, so this is one form of gematria. The number points to a person or an object. Okay, as in the number 318 pointing to Eleazar above. 2, a word in the text points to a number, a person, or an object. Under this head fall the following kinds. Okay, so let's read this. The word may be taken in its normal numerical value. Okay, for example, the money promised Haman foreshadows the gallows on which he was to be hanged, since each equal 165. Okay, the word may be taken in its minor value. Okay, and then they list these numbers. I don't really want to read them all. Okay, y'all can go back on that on your own. Instead of taking the word as it is, all or some of its letters may be first changed by permutation to the 613 commandments contained in the Torah. When the first letter is changed by the permutation into then they have this, I believe this is the Dalet in modern Hebrew, giving, okay, these numbers, okay. Homo-organic letters may be interchanged in the computation, okay. When, what is this? I forgot the name of this modern Hebrew letter, but this looks like the, I don't remember, like Chet or something like that, is substituted for da 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 da. Okay, so let me skip all of this. So basically what this is saying is that these words have a numeric value, right? And if you add them up, you get these things. But if you're going to think through this analytically, what would be the first thing that comes to your mind? The first thing that comes to my mind is that they assigned these numbers so that it would tell the story that they want to tell. Why am I thinking that way? Because in the Old Testament, there's no mention ever of any pictograph or any word having a numeric value attached to it. Okay? So this is why I'm saying this. So this is a good instance, in my opinion, of witchcraft, right? If you buy into this stuff, their reasoning and rationale, okay, it sounds good, and now you've drunk the Kool-Aid, okay? All right, so let's continue. Let's look at this one. It says a portion of a word may be entirely disregarded or may be explained by notaricon. Okay, and then they give this example, counting only the last two letters of the first word and the last two letters of the second word. This is done because if the text had nothing to include, which is not distinctly said by the scriptures, it would have had the singular, whatever that is, okay, the expression, whatever, shows that capital G-O-D, the capital one, has chosen out of 70 nations Israel. Okay, so if you, actually, I'm surprised that people even believe this, because you can make up anything using these rules. You can tell any story you want if you have someone gullible enough to believe the rules. All right, so let's continue. There's another part I want to show y'all. Let me move down. Okay. Hold on. Let me. Oh, in Kabbalah. Yeah, this is it. This is the other section I wanted to show. In Kabbalah. Notice this, in Kabbalistic literature. Well, first of all, let's look up Kabbalah for those of y'all who don't know what Kabbalah is. Okay, so here's Kabbalah. So let's look at this for everyone who may not know what Kabbalah is. All right. Okay, Kabbalah, a medieval and modern system of what? Jewish theosophy, mysticism. Okay, and I don't know this word, so let me look this word up. I don't know this word. Hold on, y'all. This is a word I do not know. And okay, there we are. So let's look that up. All right. How do you pronounce this? Okay, so this would be Ta'um Maturi. Ta'um Maturgy. Yeah, that's it. Is the purported capability of a magician to work magic or other paranormal events, or a saint to perform miracles. It is sometimes translated into English as wonder working. A practitioner of thought, let's see if I can get it right. So Ta'um Maturgy is a Ta'um Maturgus. All right, so whatever, miracle worker. All right. So is this something you want to be associated with? That's what I ask you, House of Yasharala. Magicians and magic work, paranormal. All right. Anyway, so let's continue. A medieval and modern system of, so we're talking about, let me go back. I forgot what we're talking. Oh, Kabbalah. Kabbalah, that's what we're talking about. So Kabbalah is a medieval and modern system of Jewish theosophy, mysticism, and magic, paranormal, marked by belief in a creation through emanation and a cipher method of interpreting scripture. Okay, so when you're getting involved in Gematria, this is what you're involved in, directly or indirectly, whether you know it or not, right? All right, so let's look at Merriam-Webster, see if they add anything to it. Anything more to it? No, nothing else. All right, so let's clear that out. So I hope this is clear. It's really not something we should, well, it's not something I want to be involved in. So in Kabbalistic literature, the use of gematria has been greatly extended. Extended from what? The use in the Bible, okay? Because it's not found in the Bible, right? So this is misleading, okay? I hope everybody picked that up. It has been greatly extended, all right? And its form has been developed in many directions. The principle on which gematria rests is not stated in traditional literature, but it may be assumed that it is essentially the same as that which is found in Kabbalah, though in the latter, it has been developed along the lines of cosmogonic theories. So here we have this one, okay? Cosmogony. This is the Encyclopedia Britannica. So we see astrology, right? We see astrology. So cosmogony in astronomy, study of the evolutionary behaviors of the universe. Anytime I see evolution or evolutionary anything, I'm thinking white supremacy, right? I'm thinking hybrid white supremacy. Okay, so plus what's even the bigger keyword here that we should catch? Astronomy, what? We should be thinking astrology, right? Astrology, okay? All right, so study of the evolutionary behavior of the universe and the origin of its characteristic features. For scientific theories, so remember, theories are not facts, right? Theories are good ideas, okay? Or what are perceived to be good ideas with some facts associated with it, right? So and then what are those facts? Are the facts reliable, right? Are the facts reliable? Or even are the facts real, okay? Or are they manufactured? For scientific theories on the unsolved problem of the origin of the universe. All right, so the origin of the universe, let's go back. All right. Oh boy. Okay, so the principle on which gematria rests is not stated in traditional literature, but it may be assumed that it is essentially the same as that which is found in the Kabbalah, though the latter, and it has been developed along the lines of cosmogonic theories. Okay, so that's what astronomy, astrology. A, theoretic basis. So here we are. Theoretic basis. All creation has developed through emanation from the Ein Sof. The first degrees of that evolution are the 10 Sephiroth, from the last of which kingdom developed the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Okay, so now we're talking Kabbalah, right? Okay, we're talking Kabbalah. Okay, this is their theories. This is not Hebraic. This is Jewish mysticism. Okay, Jewish is religion and culture, not bloodline, right? Through the latter, by the way, 200 CE is after Babylonian captivity, right? After Babylonian captivity. Through the latter, the whole finite world has come into existence. Y'all hear that? So this is why you'll hear people using, when they talk about Genesis chapter 1, they'll use Gematria or Gematria, right? In fact, if you go and listen to my Genesis chapter 1 and 2 video on Zion Law School, you'll hear someone, this is either in the first hour or the second hour, you'll hear somebody using this gematria to explain things, if I remember correctly. Okay. These letters are dynamic powers. Since these powers are numbers, everything that has sprung from them is number. Number is the essence of things whose logical and temporal relations ultimately depend on numerical proportions. Everything has its prototype in the world of spirit, that spiritual prototype being the germ from which the thing has been developed. As the essence of things is number, here we are. Okay, the identity of things in number demonstrates their identity in essence. Okay, so y'all get that? Okay, B, degrees of identity. While all of the 22 letters of the alphabet are coordinate powers, still it is evident that the ramifications of a letter like, I think this is Dalet in modern Hebrew, for example, whose numerical value is 4, cannot be the same as those of the letter, I think this is, I forgot what this is the last one, the last pictograph or the last letter in the modern Hebrew alphabet, I forgot what it's called, whose numerical value is 400. It is, moreover, equally apparent that the two equal sums will not be absolutely identical in their contents if the factors in each are different. The identity, therefore, implied in geometrical equations admits of a practically unlimited number of degrees. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all of this. Y'all go through this on your own, read this. But the point I want to make is that this is Jewish mysticism. This is related to Kabbalah, right? This is related to Kabbalah, cosmogony, astrology, right? Astrology, magic, and all of these other things that we are not supposed to be involved in, right? Okay, objects. So this is C, objects. The objects dealt with by Gematria may be letters, persons, things, and conceptions considered under the aspect of a number. So let's look up conceptions, okay? See what specifically they're talking about. Okay, conceptions. The action of conceiving a child or a child being conceived, the forming or devising of a plan or idea, inception, genesis, creation, formation, formulation, okay, beginning, invention. So this is very broad, right? This can include anything. Okay. All right, so this can include anything, a future event, right? Whatever you want to do, conception is very broad. Okay, and conceptions considered under the aspect of a number, okay? Notice its example. This is the second pictograph, okay? I don't know what it's called. I think it's bet in modern Hebrew. It's 2. The tribes are 12. The genesis of everything is 1. So it goes on and on and on with these things that they made up, okay? So principal methods. Here we are, principal methods, principles and methods. The world is conceived as a pyramid. So that should make you question some things, right? When you see pyramid, you should think what? Kemet or Egypt, Freemasonry, right? The world is conceived as a pyramid whose apex is the Ein Sof and whose base consists of the lowest creations. The latter are but gradual ramifications of the former. So in other words, well, let me continue. The lower is entirely contained in the immediately higher, and the higher is partly found in the lower. From this idea has developed the principle of involution, which branches out in various forms. The following modes of procedure are to be noticed as occurring in many of the Kabbalistic geometrical operations. All right, so I'm not going to go through all of this. So basically what this is saying is that there's a little bit, so the higher you go, things are related. There's elements of everything, okay? As you move up and as you go down, things are related. That's what that's saying. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show you guys. Be careful of this. This is practiced quite a bit. So when you hear our Moorish friends and family talk about the court's scheduled meetings, right, according to cosmogony or astronomical events or times or schedules, this is what they're talking about, okay? They're talking about this gematria, okay? This is used, very, very widely used in the legal system in this country, right? So here you have it. Here's your bibliography. Okay, so if y'all want to do follow up on that, here's your bibliography. Okay, so this is what the Moorish family and friends are talking about when the courts will schedule a court date, all big events and all of this stuff. They're talking about the gematria, the magic, okay, the astrology. So there it is. I hope you learned something. Be sure to come to class on Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the curses course where we do a word for word breakdown of every word in Deuteronomy chapter 28. It's etymology, parts of speech, everything. We do the Strong's numbers. We go through it very thoroughly. Also, I'm working on the self-study courses, which you'll be able to take, like a streaming course where I'll teach. There's no questions. There's nobody asking me questions. I'm just giving the information. Of course, there's no doctrine involved at all in the live class or in the self-study class. No doctrine. We just stick to the literature and we stick to the research. So come to the live class Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, watch out for the self-study streaming course. And I'm also working on the course that I taught about, I think 2 years ago, where I taught about each pictograph, its symbology, its meaning, its English equivalent, cultural context. I'm doing that as a self-study course too. I'm working on that. Also, all of the grammar stuff. I'm putting all of this stuff in a self-study course, so watch out for it. If you want to get in on that, I'll give you a price discount if you want to pay in advance. Oh, by the way, if you want to support me, support Zion Law School, you can order our literature. Okay, we have lots of literature that you can watch, that you can get. A lot of books. Go to zionlawschool.org, zionlawschool.org. You can enroll in classes, and if you want to enroll in any of these self-study courses that I'm working on, you can do that. And then, of course, I'll give you a discount, a significant discount, if you support by ordering or enrolling early or enrolling now. Okay. So anyway, that's all I have for you. Make sure you like and subscribe this video. Go to the other channel that we have, Zion Law School, okay, on YouTube, Zion Law School on YouTube, and also register. So when I do the Ibaryath stuff, you'll get all of that stuff. Shalom.